Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have done these yearly favorites in lots of different ways over the years. Sometimes I just go through every category of makeup and I tell you what my favorite was. Sometimes I talk about my most worn makeup throughout the year. I decided to do a little bit differently this year, and I'm gonna have a few videos to kind of encapsulate all of these ideas. And the first is going to be my best discoveries of 2022, meaning these are products that I bought in 2022 or I was sent in 2022. I had never used them before this year, and I absolutely love them. I am also going to do one for skincare. And then I thought, you know what? While I absolutely adore these, I am so glad I found them and discovered them and that I have them in my collection. Not all of them necessarily fall into my most worn look of the year. So I thought I would do that separately and show you an application video of like my most worn face. Okay, the products that I wore the absolute most, put them together all in one look. So we're gonna have probably 3 videos for favorites this year, but today I'm just gonna talk about my favorite discoveries. So let's jump in. I don't have something from every single category, and some categories I only have one thing in versus eyeshadows, for example, where I have 3. So let's start off with foundation. And I really only have 2 that stood out immensely. Now, I have my favorite foundations, and they are most of them ones that I have had for years and continue to repurchase. And I definitely bought more than these 2 during the last year, but these are the ones that I reached for the most out of the new ones. They're the ones that really never let me down. And the first one is the Chanel #1 Day Chanel foundation. This is part of their #1 collection that was, I believe, launched in January, and it's all based around the camellia flower. And this is the foundation in the range. Now, I am in the shade B30. I wore this yesterday. I have on the other one I'm going to talk about today. It is a very nice light to medium coverage foundation. It does have a scent to it. Now, Chanel claims that that is a natural fragrance from the camellia flower. It is there, but it is not near as strong as some of the other scents within the Chanel foundation and makeup line in general. It wears really well. I mean, a foundation, in order to make any of my favorites, has to wear all day. It has to not break up. It has to not get too shiny. It has to not dry my skin out. There are a lot of boxes that have to be checked in order for a foundation to become a favorite of mine. And this one has all of those boxes checked. It lasts forever. It looks really pretty. It's not too full coverage, but it's enough coverage. I love it. And again, I got this in January. And then the other one that I'm going to talk about, I also got in January. So I got a full year's wear out of both of these. And this is the one that I have on today, and it's the Caliray Free Dreaming Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint. This one pretty much blew my socks off when I first got it and started using it. I did a whole separate video on it. It just always looks good. And it is more of like a serum consistency, but it's not very oily. It is definitely not too shiny, and it's really bulletproof on my skin. Really lasts all day long. I love the packaging. I like how small it is. I like how travel friendly it is. I'm in the shade #6, which is called Medium Light, and I just really like it. So these 2 are the ones that stood out to me out of all of the foundations that I purchased this year and ones that I reach for a lot. This one is over halfway gone, I can tell. And this one I just shook up, but there's a good chunk of it missing too. So definitely recommendations of mine as far as foundation. This next kind of cheat, it's like a combo, but it's put into one, are not new products in 2022. And they're not even new products to me in 2022. However, the way I use one in particular has been an absolute game changer for my concealer ways, okay? And if you've watched any of my videos in the last 3 or 4 months, you know what I'm gonna talk about. The Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation. I used this in a full face of Chantecaille video a few months ago. I think it was for maybe their Sylvie sale, which is in July. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use this. I use the Stilo pen as kind of my corrector because it has a nice peach undertone. And I was like, I'm going to use this as my concealer. It's Chantecaille. I want the entire face to be that, so let's try that. I haven't looked back since. I have not looked back. This is, for me and my under eyes, the absolute best concealer, even though it's a foundation, that I have ever used. It is just enough coverage. It is not full coverage by any means. If you know about anything about this as a foundation, you will know that it is not a full coverage foundation. It is more of a medium coverage under my eyes. I still use a corrector with it. It works with any corrector I use because I have used it with many. It never, one time in months, has creased under my eyes, cracked under my eyes, dried under my eyes, made my under eyes look older, nothing. This is perfection in a jar as concealer for me. I love it as foundation too, but I don't know that I will ever look back. I have so many other concealers. I still try other concealers. If I've said I've liked them, I'm not lying. I like them. I love this. Love it. And then the Ilia Fade Into You Soft Focus Finishing Powder is kind of the icing on the cake for this. It's what I use to set it every day, and I love it as well. But honestly, this could be set with anything and it's just gonna work. It's this that is the main game changer for me. If you already have this, because I know I have a lot of Chantecaille fans that watch my videos, please try it under your eyes. Maybe you feel like it's not enough coverage, but I just can't imagine it not working as well as it works for me. Best discovery, hands down, of 2022. Let's talk about powder. There is one powder, and I had a couple that I got this year that I really enjoyed, but there is one that has stood out to me ever since I got it, and I can't even tell you when I got it. I label all of my products as to the date that I get them so that I know whether or not I've had them too long. And this is my third one of these powders this year. So I don't even know when I first started, but I do know it was this year. This is the Perez Corn Translucent Powder in the shade One for All. Again, it is my third compact. I have hit pan. I have backups on the way. This is a powder that looks good with every foundation I use it with, whether it's matte, dewy, luminous, semi-matte, doesn't matter. It works with every single foundation I have tried it with, and it stays as it is the entire day, or as it is when I first applied it. It just keeps my foundation locked in so well, and I love everything about it. Hence the reason that I'm on my third compact. Now, I felt like, man, I'm going through these quick. Maybe they don't have as much product in them as some of my other powders, but they have 13.5 grams. The majority of my other pressed powders in my collection, in fact, I did not find one that had more than that, but the majority of them have anywhere between 7.5 and 10.5 grams in the compact, whereas this one has 13.5. So the reason that I felt like I was going through them so fast was because I was using them so much. Best powder discovery all year, but really of all time. As of right now, it is my favorite powder of all time. Don't have, huge loving discoveries in bronzer and highlight. I really like the Sigma bronzer. I use that a lot, but the blush is the one that stood out the most to me as far as a discovery that I just knocked my socks off this year. And I'm pretty sure y'all are going to be able to determine what it is. And it is the RMS Beauty Redimension Hydra Powder Blushes. Oh, y'all. I have on Pomegranate Fizz today. This is the one that I first got in July. And I was like, oh, holy cow. This is absolutely beautiful on the skin. It's a very punchy color, right? But the good thing about these is that you really can determine how you want them to look on the face. If you use a super fluffy brush and just pick up a little bit, it's not like so much pigment gets on your brush from the absolute get-go. In fact, I'm gonna put just a little bit more on the apples of my cheeks because I just love it so much. But you can build it up if you want to. And then during the Sephora sale, I got this, which is called French Rosé. And it's a very pretty, almost Barbie pink color. I would not mind having all of the shades within this collection and then decluttering the majority of the rest of my blushes. Like, I would be good. If I had all of Jane Iredale's blushes and all of these blushes and maybe two other ones, like, I would be good. That's how much I love these. They're so beautiful on the skin. So definitely one I'm so glad that was launched and that I actually tried out. All right, we've got eyeshadows, one eye brush, and lips. And that's it. So let's go ahead and start out with probably my favorite shadow discovery this year. And it's not like they were all launched this year, but it's basically Sigma shadows. These are all the Sigma eye palettes. Not all of them. Let me grab the one I used today. The Warm Neutrals palette. So this is it right here. And I used this color in the middle, which is probably my most used color. I'm probably about to hit pan. Then I put this really pretty gold shimmer, and then I topped it with this little champagne shimmer right here and used this shade as a liner. I love that you can get either the bigger ones or the smaller palettes like this. My favorite big palette is the Ambiance palette, and it has got very pretty neutrals and shimmers. They have more cool tone palettes. This is the new mod. So you've got like the purples and the pinks, and it's a good mix of mattes and shimmers. I love the formula of these because they stay on forever. Blushes and eyeshadows sometimes can look really pretty when you apply them, and then when you go to wash your face at night, the vibrancy has really dialed down. I feel like out of all of the eyeshadow formulas that I have, the Sigma ones last the absolute longest as far as vibrancy and color. They're easy to blend out. I just have really been enjoying them. There's the formula, the color selection, the price point. I love them. Another one that I have loved is this Tom Ford Eye Color Quad Cream in Smoky Quartz. Now, I used this not long ago, and someone had asked about the cream formula and if they were similar to another like cream formula in a pot. It's not that kind of formula. They are still powder, but they have almost like a putty texture to them. Kind of like a bouncy one. And so they apply much smoother, in my opinion. They blend out even better. There's definitely nothing drying about the product itself. They really apply nicely with fingers and brushes. I love this formula so much. And this palette, while it may look like, oh, that's really kind of boring, is something I pick up all the time. Kind of swatching at an angle here, but those other colors in the palette. So you definitely have some more neutral shades like that brown, and even the dark brown are more neutral. And then these have a little bit more of a warmer base to them. They all look beautiful on the eyes. No matter what color eyes you have, they're going to look great. I just can't stress how much I love that. And I know that Tom Ford is expensive, but the formula of these warrant the price tag, and the fact that they are such basic colors that I can reach for this daily and get so much use out of it is, again, something that I personally can justify a price for. So I have loved the Smoky Quartz. And then finally, this is the newest love of mine, and this is the Roen Beauty eyeshadow palette, Eyes on Me. I just got this in October. I used it in a look that I will post in a card, but these are just my kind of colors. I love coppers. I love golds. They really make my blue eyes stand out. And this is no exception. This has 2 cream shades right here, and then a matte shade and more of like a topper shade. So pretty. Even though it's only 4 shades and they do look kind of similar in tone, you can get lots of different varieties of looks from this palette. It's great to travel with because, I mean, you really don't need much more at all. I would take like a darker shade for an eyeliner color and be good to go. Very, very pretty, and has made me want to try other Roen palettes. So if you have another favorite, let me know in the comments. And then I have to talk, before we get on to lips, I have to talk about this brush because this is hands down my favorite discovery of 2022, and it is the Rephr 29 brush. I talk about this so very much. It is the tiniest, most detailed, itty bitty bristle brush that I have in my collection, and nothing, and I mean nothing, applies shadow eyeliner better than this brush. I have not tried it with a gel eyeliner or anything like that. I don't typically use, no, let me say that. I don't ever use a gel liner. Sometimes I'll use a pencil, but if I do, most of the time I'm wanting to smoke it out, so I'm not wanting a precise line. I really like using eyeshadow as liner, and this Rephr 29 brush makes it a dream to apply liner. I do a lot of makeup lessons one-on-one, and that is probably my biggest complaint from my clients is that they feel like they can't apply their liner without it skipping or becoming too thick on one side, and then they have to make the other side thick to match it up. And then all of a sudden they've got this like liner that covers half their lid, and they had a smoky eye when they didn't want a smoky eye. So when I turn them onto this brush and show them how to apply shadow liner with it, it is a game changer for them, and it has been one for me. Okay, finally, let's talk about some lip products. I have 3 lip products, and you best believe they are all nude. If you do not like nude lips, you could probably sign off. Thanks for watching. But if you do, and you're like me and love nude lips, then I'm gonna show you my favorite ones that I got this year. The one that I'm wearing today is part of a limited edition collection, but last I checked, it was still available. I will try to find it everywhere I can and link it. But this is the Chantecaille Lip Chic in Yarrow. And I believe this is part of the Cougar collection. Y'all, I love this so much. Again, it's what I have on right now. I've said it 500 times before, but the Lip Chics are some of my favorite formulas of lipsticks ever because, as you can see, they are so moisturizing and they have like almost a built-in gloss. I don't typically ever top these with glosses, which is not the case for most lipsticks. I am a gloss girl, but it just catches the light so nice. You can see how hydrating they are just by swatching it. This is, I believe it's described as a peachy nude. Sometimes I get peach, sometimes I get pink. I honestly think it has to do with what I'm wearing, where it kind of like, you know, sometimes your eye color can change a little bit based on what you're wearing. I kind of feel like the same for this. So this is good neutral territory, in my opinion, for a lipstick, and I love it. Another one that I love that I got in February is from Merit, and it is their signature lip. I think it's what it's called. I have 2 shades in this, and this is by far my favorite. This is called Millennial, and I do love the packaging. Really pretty, like copper acrylic type top. And this one is definitely more on the pink side of nude. So you can almost see how this is more neutral or peach when you put it up next to something that has more pink in it. But I love this formula. It's not too drying. It is not too matte. I do typically top them with glosses, but it's so beautiful. I also have, is it Slip, which is more of a brown neutral shade. I would love to try Baby. I keep saying that, and for some reason I never get it. But as far as like bullet lipsticks go, this was definitely my favorite find of the year. And then finally, this is one that I don't typically talk about as much, and I don't know why. I love the formula of this. I love the color of this. I don't love the packaging of this, and I'll tell you why. This is the Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. So I got this one in October. I think it's Cherry Blossom that I got, I don't know, maybe in the springtime. And I got a mini one of this, but this is in White Peach. Oh, look, it's a nude. And it's beautiful. I keep it on my vanity, and typically when I get done doing my makeup, if I'm not about to film, I'll put this on real quick and go on with my day and then reapply with something else as it wears off, because it is more of a balmy lipstick. The reason I don't like the packaging is because once you push this up, there is no going down. And it is a very hydrating product. This is it right there. So that is White Peach. Definitely the most nude of the bunch, but you can see how much hydration it has by how it's catching the light. I think out of all 3, this one definitely has the most of that. But the problem is, because it has so much hydration, and because the formula is so slippy and almost like a hybrid between a lipstick and a gloss and a balm, if you push it up too much, apply it, it will push down on itself, and it will get all over the sides, be very, very messy, and you've wasted product. So the thing to remember with these is to do 1 to 2 clicks max. Put it on, and if you need more, go from there, but do not do more than that, because you will make a mess and waste product. So I don't like the packaging, but I love the formula, and I love this color, White Peach. So that is it. That wraps up my favorite makeup discoveries of 2022. I will have everything listed and linked in the description box per usual. And be sure and like and subscribe before you leave, because I will be doing, again, the skincare and then my most worn look very soon, hopefully all within the month of December. Let me know down in the comment section your favorite discovery of the year. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.